What is going on, guys? Rodney here with Crypto Bros. Happy Sunday morning, having a cup of coffee. But today we're going to be talking about Pundi X. We're going to get pretty deep into this, and I do want to preface this video by saying this is a coin that I've wanted to review for a couple weeks at this point, kind of low-key been following it. But two, I was watching some videos on consensus over the weekend. There were a couple that popped up on Pundi X that caught my eye, but also I think the timing of this is super great. Only for the fact that they've landed a large partnership with none other than Wanchain. It says Wanchain and Pundi X Labs partnered to build a super financial market on the blockchain. Now, if we know anything about Wanchain, everyone loves it at this point. A lot of hype surrounding it, and I think it has a lot of potential to kind of bring Pundi to the main stage. And we'll look at all of that in a minute. As we kind of get in there, I did just want to say thank you guys so much for all the subscriptions, all the comments, all the love, all the likes. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, all you have to do is come over here, hit the subscribe button. If I had an intro video, this is where I would play it, but I don't. So let's talk about Pundi X. So as we can kind of see in this background playing video, Pundi X is a point of sale system. This machine is called Xpos. And essentially what their overarching goal is they're saying, look, we want to make cryptocurrency available to everyone, and we want it to be so easy that you can literally go down to your local convenience store, 7-Eleven, gas station, liquor store, and buy cryptocurrency using cash or a debit card or credit card, and then also have the ability to use that use the cryptocurrency that you just bought, and put it on a card, which kind of will lead into their Pundi X actual card, and we'll talk about all that in a minute. So if you think about, they're kind of, the problem they're trying to solve is they're like, look, guys like you and I can easily go on to Coinbase, Gemini, wherever, buy cryptocurrency, send it to an exchange, pick up whatever altcoin we want, take that altcoin, send it back to our wallet, whatever. And they're saying for some people that comes fairly easy, but for others, that's a very super complicated system. Hence why we wanted to make the convenience of picking this up at a store. Literally, they're saying we want it to be as easy as buying a bottle of water. And you might be saying look, okay, that sounds cool and all, but they have, right now they have Bitcoin ATMs. Why can't we get it there? If you think about that standpoint, it's okay, it's very cool when a Bitcoin ATM comes to your city. People are excited about it. They take pictures of it. But distribution, expense costs, not to mention that ATMs are few and far between. There's a handful of them around, any given city, if at all. They're saying look, we can mass produce the crap out of these little point of sale systems, shrink them down, distribute them, and then put them in a boatload of different, little merchants around the world. So that is what their kind of goal is with this system. And how it would work would be if I went in there to, let's say I wanted to buy $200 worth of Ethereum, I would take my Pundi X card, I would, first I would give the guy cash or credit or whatever payment that I want to do. He would ring up the process, I'd take my Pundi X card, I would hold it right above the sensor for a couple seconds, and then bam, I have Ethereum. On my Pundi X card, I could walk next door to the Starbucks or local coffee shop, buy a cup of coffee, and be able to use my card. So again, guys, as I kind of mentioned up there, I do want to hear your opinion on this. Do you think that's a worthwhile thing here? So again, this is just a large push for a mass adoption place. Although, I'll say my reservation is looking at myself, I'm not sure if I would go out and get a card. I like to, unfortunately, keep and hold my cryptos. I would have separation anxiety or whatever about using them to actually buy stuff. So I do think that's going to be from a psychological standpoint of some people an issue, but others it may not be. So anyway, again, that piece is it'll even print you out a receipt. It'll print out a receipt after you use it. But that piece is something to consider. And again, I think one important point here is not only are they saying look, do we have this point of sale system and our own card? We want our point of sale system to interact with all these other cards that are coming out there. They think that is the key. So I just did a video review on FuseX. That card holds cryptocurrencies, holds your debit cards, holds your credit cards, holds reward cards to wherever it is, Starbucks, Target, doesn't matter. Same with 10X, even though they had some issues, but they want their POS system to interact with all of those cards. So not only do you have to have a Pundi X pass, you can have any of those cards and be able to use your cryptocurrency in a real world experience. So we can see here, just kind of ripping through the website, they do have a lot of things going on. They're supporting a handful of cryptocurrencies. They also have the QRC, the scanner, so you can use that. If you don't have a card, you can use your phone. People love that as well. But one thing that I think is really important that I want to point out here is the purpose of their ICO. And I picked this little tidbit up from a different video with their CEO and founder. He basically is like, look, we have this ICO so we could mass produce these machines, and we're using that money to build the POS systems and then also distribute them out to merchants. Their focus with that is they understand they need to build an ecosystem first, is that they want to make these low cost, not only low cost or free for the cards, but also very low cost and potentially free for some merchants, just to get the baseline of this ecosystem built. So I thought that was a very, we look at some of these ICOs like, oh, we need to raise $40 million, and there's not a whole lot of pieces in place. Like, they have this machine already, so they ran the ICO so they could actually build more and distribute them, and I think that's great. If we shoot down to the roadmap, we can kind of see where we're at currently. It's to establish some new offices in Tokyo. They're also shooting for 2,000 POS system units for individual pre-orders, and then 4,000 units for corporate orders. And then they want to deliver 3,000 Xpos cards. And then I also saw a tidbit where basically over the next year, they want to get 100,000 of these machines in the hands of the merchants. Right now, they do have, I think it was as of April-ish, they do have 4,000 of these POS systems built, ready to go. Now they just got to distribute them out. So very cool stuff going on for them. Again, if we look at this article about Wanchain, I think timing was perfect for this review video, especially with Consensus, but it just talks about their partnership, and that actually kind of came together at Consensus, and what they're trying to do here to launch the Pundi X system in this kind of financial environment that they're looking at. So I think this is really great. I will post all the links to all the videos down below. Now I just kind of want to get into the price points. So we can see here, we've seen our initial debut really not that long ago at all. We're talking about the end of March, and we've seen a very nice run up. So this is, at this point, this is kind of where the psychological barriers get in play. We can see the token price is still very, very cheap, but we've also come off a pretty huge run up with a peak of looks like 1.5 cents. So we're still very close to the top in terms of price. But I think based on it being a penny and the psychological aspect of it being cheap to many, I still think there's plenty of room to run. It's up maybe 130%. We'll look at it on the next screen. But markets we can get it at, not a bad movement and play, especially when we're talking about this Wanchain partnership, considering we're not even on very many large exchanges as of yet. This could definitely be a contender for a Binance or a KuCoin or a Bittrex or something like that. But right now, currently on Conrail, IDEX, Coinbean, Hotbit, Bancor, whatever, CoinNest. So not a ton of high volume exchanges, at least here in the States. Maybe around some other places, this is getting it, but most of the volume here is on CoinRail. I think I called it Conrail, but I meant CoinRail. So anyway, so there's that. Then moving on, just over here, we can see in the last 30 days, up 160% in the last 30 days. I mean, that's not super surprising based on the price points where this is going. One thing that I do think is going to turn a lot of people off is this total supply of 68 billion coins. That's a lot. And when we're talking about supply and demand and how things can shift like that, we typically see price points do better when there is a lower total and circulating supply. Right now they do have the circulating supply blurred out because I don't know if you guys saw this banner here at the top of this, but they're basically PXS is now NPXS, and you can swap your PSX tokens for 1,000 NPX. So basically, I think CoinMarketCap said, like, look, we don't have the circulating supply out because of the swap that is going on now. So anyway, just one thing to consider though is definitely that total supply if you are thinking about investing in this long term. Usually when we see a supply that high, like the swings in price are not as volatile because there's the volume that would come in has to be in such a large amount of tokens. And really, like if you look at it, from a monetary standpoint, if someone had $1 million worth and they're doing something with that, it's a smaller percentage of tokens that are being moved, but still the same amount of money. So one thing to consider there. On their little technical analysis, this ordeal here, it does have it as a strong buy, but again, we are up 160% over the last 30 days. Usually when we see a big run up like that, there is a retracement. This early in the game, without much history, it is hard to tell where this is going and how far it could run, even being up 160%. But worth considering whether you want to add it or not, so up to you guys. So anyway, as we swing over just to their Telegram, very large following at this point, 21,686 people's on their Telegram, and then a pretty large following again on their Twitter, 26,000 here. We can see it's a very active page. They've been doing a lot lately. I mean, obviously they were at consensus here. They've got a lot of things in motion. They're very active on social media. Here's the big deal with Wanchain and Pundi X. I think this is super exciting for a couple of reasons, because if we can see, some adoption here with Pundi X, that's likely going to help Wanchain, so it would be a mutually beneficial partnership. I mean, most partnerships are mutually beneficial, but if we're thinking about it from a price action standpoint, I mean, Wanchain is already a beast as it is. A lot of people have already done very, very well, but I think this helps launch as Wanchain even more, especially if if Pundi X gets these machines in the stores. Wanchain is able to be purchased with a cash. People learn about it, figure out what it can do, how they're kind of shaping the next generation of blockchains. I think it could do wonders for both sides of that. Last but not least, and we'll wrap this up, I always like to just kind of check out some of these ICO reviews before the coins come out. ICO Bench gave it a 3.6 from 7 expert ratings. So a Benchy profile score of 3.4, experts vision 4.4. You guys can check all this out. I'll post these links below. I generally like ICO Bench just because of the layout and the breakdown that they have here. So so you guys can check this out. And then this one is from ICO Token News, and they gave it a 4.8 out of 5, and that's on 52 votes. So pretty big here. Today I didn't dive into the team, just more so because I wasn't concerned totally about what they had going on. I think there's a lot of big name players that kind of back this already that we didn't have to do a full-on team dive, but you guys can check that out. Again, sometimes can be speculative on that point, but again, they're manufacturing systems, they're manufacturing cards, they have their ducks in a row, real business, things are up and running. I just think that they have a lot going on for them in terms of kind of helping society take the next step in adopting cryptocurrency. So anyway, that is all I have for you today, guys. Wanted to just say thank you again for being here with me. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, you can do that now. You don't have to. Would love to have you though. But anyway, have a great Sunday. I will catch you guys later. Again, leave those comments below. I want to hear what you guys think about Pundi X. I want to hear if you think it's a good idea. I want to hear if you think it, does it interest you? Does it not? Would you not do this? Would you not have a card? Would you not use your cryptocurrencies to buy coffee? Whatever it is, leave it down below. I'll take some time, respond back to you. We'll have a conversation, and it will be great. Have a great Sunday, guys. Catch you guys later. See ya.